Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on Ramblings, I've got a story for you. You ain't gonna believe this story. It's pretty harrowing, I will tell you that. But first, let's see what is all going on here on the ridge. It is still frozen. It's supposed to be like, I think 17 or 14 degrees the next 2 nights. I don't even believe it's gonna get above freezing today. But the sun is out, which is good, which should melt stuff. How's the not much ice left on top of there? Let's come over here. Oh, it is super slick. I think it's still about 3 or 4 inches of ice and sleet still on the ground. That one is mostly melted off. This one right here, look at this. Let me back up. Let's see if you can see that. It has started to shift down. Looky here. Oh, it's hanging over. Look at that. Look at that. Now, let's come over here. We can't see the solar panels. I can see it dripping from the sun. Ooh, check this out, guys. Ooh, Tim, don't stand under there. That looks dangerous. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Well, can we get it to come off there? All right, let's try this. Let's try this broom right here. Let's see. I don't think it's ready. Let's see. Oh, that's frozen solid on there. Oh, it ain't going nowhere. I bet as soon as that sun comes over the top there, it'll come down. Oh boy, let's see if I can get it. Oh, no, it's not. It's frozen solid. That is crazy. Crazy. No, not going. Oh, I'm gonna fall. Not going anywhere. I guarantee when that sun comes over though, it will definitely be ready to fall. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Whew. Canopies are all good. Let's walk out here, check the top of the solar panels. Now, I have seen more of the dog tracks coming back. Chickens are fine though. I walked, checked all the chickens, everything's fine. Let me stand up here. Oh yeah, you saw how it stuck on top of the power shed. It's stuck up on the top of the solar panels just like that. So not gonna get solar, that's for sure. Gotta run the generator a little bit more. Oh my gosh, water's still frozen. I guess I should have got me a heated water hose like David got from Come On Homestead, and he said that thing worked really good. They must be cheaper now than they used to be. They used to be really, really expensive. But guys, stick around for a second. I got a story to tell. I'm gonna pull a chair up, and right now I'm just checking everything. Chicken's coming out. Hi, chickies. Hi, chickies. Let's get you some scratch. I know you want that corn to warm you up. Corn will warm you up. Here you go. There you go. Go get it. You too afraid to walk out there? Are you? What? Go get it. Yeah, go get it. Go get it. Silly chickens. All right, they're fine. I'm gonna get the rabbits and the chickens taken care of later. I gotta tell you a story first though. We can saw the dog tracks. Here's the dog tracks you saw me and Meredith seen that day. Well, there was fresh ones right here. A bunch of them, bunch of fresh dog tracks. So that's kind of disconcerting. I'll walk around over here. What a beautiful day though. It's so cold, but the sun feels good. And the sun, even though it's freezing, the sun may still melt that snow and watch that ice fall. Here we go. More dog tracks right here. What the? Dog tracks stop. Well, that's kind of weird. That is weird. What, did it jump? Jump from there to there? That's weird. That is really weird. All right, guys. Let me pull up a chair, tell you a harrowing story. quite interesting, I think. I'm just curious when this is going to fall off. Whew, that sun is bright. So I apologize for all the squinting here, guys. I guess I could wear some sunglasses, but I want you to see my pretty blues. I can't even open my pretty blues. It's so bright. This winter storm has been, I mean, you've heard so much stuff on the news and, you know, social media about this storm, this epic winter storm. Ice in the Mississippi and Nashville, and a couple feet of snow, you know, in the Midwest. It really is. It really is pretty bad. Last year, if you recall, we had a week-long snowstorm that never melted, which is very, very unusual here in the Mid-South. Usually when we get snow or ice, it's gone in 36 hours. Usually 36 hours. Usually the next day. And we'll get 2 or 3 inches of snow or something, or some sleet, or a little bit of ice. And it's usually gone within, you know, the next day, or at least 36 hours. Last year, we got just a, you know, 7, 8 inches. You know, David from Come On Homestead, and 24 inches. I got 24 inches. Look, it's 24. Love you, David. We didn't get 24 inches. They were this year they were projecting up to 24 inches. Then it quickly turned to snow, then sleet, then ice. You know, and you know. So last year we got, you know, about 7, 8 inches, and it stayed for a week because it got so cold. Well, guys, this is the very first snowfall of the year here in West Tennessee. The very first. I mean, I don't even remember drizzle or flakes or flurries or, you know. None of that. And here we are almost in February, right? This was the first one of the year, but guys, it hit hard. It hit hard. The 24 inches of snow did not materialize, thankfully. We got probably 4 or 5 inches of snow. And you guys remember the videos of me going out all night long, getting the snow and then sleet off the roof of my 4 temporary canopies. 3 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. I did it, I think I did it like 7 times total during that rotation. And I didn't get much sleep at all. But luckily, all my canopies, everything on the ridge, knock on wood, so far has survived, which is a blessing, a true, true blessing. But then it just got worse. Then it just got worse. So that, you know, 3, 4, 5 inches of snow started getting compacted by sleet. We had probably over 6 to 8 hours of sleet, and it built up about 2 or 3 inches thick of ice balls, you know, that freeze together. We had a little bit of freezing rain, you know, that kind of mixed in there. Luckily, we did not get much freezing rain. Otherwise, these trees, these pine trees behind you and the oaks and stuff on this side, most of the pine trees and the cedars would just start cracking and breaking. We had none of that. We had none of that. But what we did have is that heavy, heavy, heavy accumulation of sleet and snow. And it's pretty dramatic. We saw canopies around, you know, and we were driving around. We saw barns collapse. The one behind Meredith, the brand new steel truss barn, bigger than Meredith's, I believe. I believe that one was bigger than Meredith's. Meredith's is, hers is what, 40 by 60, I think. And that one had to be like 60 by 90 or something. That was a big one. It completely collapsed. And I found out they did not have any animals in it, which is a blessing. No animals in it. Well, we drove around, saw more barns and stuff down as we were trying to get materials to keep the horses and cows and donkeys and chickens and rabbits and everything, you know, taken care of. Well, we came over here to the ridge, right, to take care of things, and we saw on the way back, we saw a horse arena. A horse arena. So it's a giant steel structure with steel trusses and everything. It's closed on one end, and then one big area, you know, an arena where they do rodeos and stuff, but it's covered completely collapsed. Completely collapsed. So yes, this stuff is different. I mean, I'm still walking on it now, and you saw earlier that coming off the roof, solid as a rock. It wasn't slush, it wasn't snow, it wasn't, you know, a see-through ice. It's still, I mean, there is still 2 or 3 inches solid of sleet froze together with a little bit of snow under it. And that's, as you look at it, and that's what it is. It is, let me get in front of my eyes here. That is ball of sleet, little bitty sleet pellets. It's pretty crazy, and it's really, really hard, and it's really, really slick. So slick, that's where my story started. The stuff I've led up to now has not been the story. So when Meredith and I were coming over here to the ridge the other day, we pulled in on the main road, off the main road, but on a county highway that leads up to the ridge. And there was a pickup truck there, and a gentleman was sideways in the road, and we couldn't get by him. And he was a 2-wheel drive pickup. You know how 2-wheel drive pickups are. They have no traction. And it was just a sheet of ice. The top part of that frozen sleet was just a sheet of ice. So I had my tow rope from pulling, remember I pulled Meredith's neighbor out. And so I attached to him and pulled him back onto the road and got him down the road. We did everything at the ridge crib. Got back, well, it just got worse. It just got worse. So coming to the ridge last night, yesterday evening, was the most harrowing snow ride I think I've had in my 55 years of living. You know, I've driven some, you know, but I got this big F-250 beast here, which is I'm very, very thankful for because it's so heavy, right? I know it's a pickup truck, so the rear end doesn't get much traction, but this is the trimmer edition, the off-road, got the off-road tires, the higher suspension, you know, more, and it has all kinds of off-road snow and slippery settings and stuff. Very, very thankful, very, very blessed to have this bad boy. Thought I was gonna have to pull Meredith's Land Rover up from the bottom down by the barn, but you know, hopefully saw yesterday's rambling, we got it up on its own accord. You would think, was, you know, those Land Rovers are supposed to be, you know, top-notch stuff, you know. But so I was coming home, and it's really hilly between me and Meredith, right? Really hilly, and the main roads they have clear now. Luckily, the main roads are clear, but the back roads are just abysmal. And yesterday was the worst of it because it was the sun was out and it was above freezing yesterday. So everything on the top layer started to melt, but everything below it was still solid ice. So it was just super, super slick. So I'm going down this hill one time, and I got it 4 high, and there's 2 trucks coming at the bottom of the hill. And as I'm going down, I had to get over, you know, and it was just 2 grooves, 2 ruts in the slush, in the sleet. And I had to get out of those and off to the right. When I got my front tires over it, you can't cut them too quick, otherwise your rear end kicks out. Well, apparently I cut a little too quick, and the rear end started to kick out, and I was going sideways. Of course, you always steer into the slide. You know, I've known that since I was a little kid. Steer into the slide, and I got straightened up, but I was still in the center. I wasn't back on the right side. So the guys coming up the hill, they had to back up, and I had to just keep trying until I bumped over, and because those sleet mounds were about this tall. Luckily, you know, I had all the clearance. It was no problem. So I got off of that, and I said, this was the beginning of the ride home. The sun was up, and it was, you know, it was still early, you know, early evening, late afternoon, and that was just the beginning of this ordeal. Pull up a chair, get you some coffee, because this is where it gets interesting. So I'm just slipping and sliding and just got it for, you know, I'm taking it slow, and every time vehicles would meet, it was just, you know, is somebody gonna go in the ditch? Is somebody going in the ditch? Well, I come down this one hill and I look, and there was a car, and I was like, why are people out in cars? Especially rear-wheel drive cars. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. Don't get out in this stuff in rear-wheel drive cars, even front-wheel drive cars, and especially 2-wheel drive pickups. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I see this car in the center of the road, up a hill. Hill wasn't too steep, and there was a pickup truck. You know, they were meeting each other, right? and the pickup truck stopped, and the car stopped, and the car got stuck. So I walk up to the car, and the car is just, you know, it's a 4-door sedan. And the gentleman gets out, and he asks his wife to get into the driver's seat. And I'm like, well, sir, I can't, you know, you have nothing for me to attach to. We're going to have to push this thing. So we cleared the snow under the tires and everything, and I rocked it back and forth. We rocked it, me and him just pushing back and forth, pushing back and forth. Meanwhile, that pickup truck decided to turn around and go home, right? Turn around, don't drown. Turn around, don't get stuck. So we see him leaving off, and we push him, and I get him rolling, and I'm pushing, and I said, just get over there in this driveway. Get over this. There was a paved driveway that someone had cleared. So we get him over in that driveway, and then I look up, and that 2-wheel drive pickup was in a ditch. The front left tire was down in a ditch. I was like, oh my goodness. And so I said, yeah, are you guys good in that car? And they were. So I pulled up, and I started talking to him. So they were going up the hill. That car was going up the hill. The truck was going down. They turned around. They were going away. Well, the car, while I'm going to go help the pickup truck, the car decides just to go downhill and get home that way. And I turned around. They had made it down the hill. So hopefully, I don't know what happened after that, but they made it down the hill. So the pickup truck was in the ditch. So pickup trucks have, you know, things for me to attach my tow rope to. I got a braided tow rope with hooks on each end with clasps. So I clasp it to his bumper pull, and I clasp it to my front hook. You know, these big front hooks right here. Got it 4 high, and I pull him out like it was nothing. I mean, I just backed him right out of the ditch. So I pulled up, took the tow hook off, and I said, all right, sir, have a great day. He gets in his truck, nothing. I said, okay, let me attach to you some more and get you more in the center of the road. So I attach him back to the truck. I get him more in the center of the road. And by this time, guys, there is at least 3 4x4 vehicles waiting to us to get out of the road, right? At least 3, maybe 4. So I pull him in the center of the road, and he's nothing. I was like, oh, so I disconnect. Again, this is taking a little time, and now, you know, all these cars are backing up. And I said, all right, let's do like we did with that car. Let's rock you back and forth, see if we can get you moving. And he had just, again, a 2-wheel drive pickup, street tires, light truck tires, no tread, and he had nothing in the bed of the truck. It was very, very empty. So we're rocking him, and nothing happened. I said, sir, I couldn't get around him. He was in the center of the road, and if I got off on the side, the ditches were pretty steep on either side. I said, let's just back you up to where that driveway was, where that car is. Okay? He said, yeah, let's do that. So the thing won't move backwards. I'm pushing on the front, and finally, I said, sir, if you get out, have your wife drive the truck, maybe you and I could, push together. So we got him pushing. I'm pushing, and rocking, and pushing, and I get him moving, and I could tell right then she wasn't going to make the curve into it. So he jumps back into the truck with his wife, and I'm pushing, I'm rocking, I'm pushing. We get him in the driveway. So then I get in my truck, and I scoot off to the side, and here comes all these 4x4s going down the road. Every single one of them had a young man to middle-aged man driving. Every single one of them. Watching me, a 55-year-old man, gray as, a goose, pushing a car and a truck by hand. What does this world come to? Where young, able-bodied, or even middle-aged, able-bodied men sitting watching me push vehicles. That's sad. That's sad. Now, guys, the story isn't over yet. It's still daylight, and I'm still near Meredith. So Meredith called, said she saw me on the Find Me thing, that I wasn't moving. I said, yeah, I was just helping somebody. So I'm talking to her, and as I'm talking, I'm driving down the road. I'm going, woo, woo. She's like, what are you doing? I said, baby, I'm sliding around all everywhere. So I meet a bunch more people, and it gets real harrowing. And luckily my side mirrors on my F-250 are automatic retract. So every time somebody comes up, I push the button and zzz, they retract, because sometimes, especially them big Dodge pickup trucks that have the moose ear, moose antler rear side mirrors, because they stick them out like this and they're like 4 feet out. Man, I almost lost my mirrors a couple times. So I get onto the interstate, and luckily the interstate's clear. Oh, Tim, your story's over with. But wait, there's more. Oh my God, it gets way worse, way worse. So I make it, 10 miles or so on the interstate, and then I have to get off. I said, all right, I'm not gonna take the back road to my house, the one I normally do. It's just a straight stretch from the interstate to the ridge. I need to go to the nearest town on the 4-lane highway, and then I'll take the 2-lane, because the off the interstate, it's a real hilly and curvy. I mean, real hilly, and it was just getting bad. So this 4-lane highway is only 2 lanes. One going this way and one going this way. They just don't have them cleared off. It's just crazy. The state where we live in the Mid-South, they've got like one plow, right? And it puts a little salt, a little sand, and they don't do any of the back roads. They just get the main roads. And I guess the governor had signed a thing where the TDOT, the state, could help the counties out because the state only does the major highways, right? Well, he signed an executive order or something allowing the state to help the counties out, because this counties just don't, usually snow melts and it's gone in a day, and this is 4 days into it, 5 days into it. Goodness gracious, how long is it to it? I don't know. And so luckily they're helping out, but they hadn't got to the back roads yet. So even this major 4-lane highway was just 2-lane, and it was still rutted up and the bridges were icy. So everyone's driving like 30 miles an hour, and it's now starting to get a little later in the afternoon, taking forever. People driving stupid, trying to pass in the snow and the ice, sliding in front of people, people sliding off, But luckily I didn't have to pull anybody then. I made it to the town, and then I headed south on this little 2-lane county highway that will get me near my place. And, oh, goodness gracious, guys. It was just a fishtail, And I know steer into the, I got all that. I stayed in my lane. But some people were just sliding all over, and basically you see somebody coming, you just got to hold up. Just got to hold up. I've seen so many vehicles off in the ditches with nobody in them, and like their front axle had broke and the left tire's going like, looking like, one eyeball this way and one eyeball this way. But I always check to make sure there's nobody in them. So I get fairly close to the ridge, right? I mean, it's dark now. The sun is setting. Oh my gosh, it was a beautiful sunset yesterday. Beautiful sunset. So the sun is setting. Headlights are on, everything. I pull off the county highway onto the little county road that we near where we live on. There's a little place there, a little civic center, thing. And you got to go up a hill. When I go up the hill, there's a Jeep, like on the other side of it, halfway up. Right in the center of the lane, a little Jeep Wrangler. I was like, oh, here we go. And it's, the headlights are in headlights, so I really can't see much, right? I just see headlights. So I put it in park, I get out, and I see, it's a lady, and she's in a Jeep, and she's got a pickup truck tied to her bumper. She was pulling a pickup truck up the hill. And lo and behold, it was the same 2-wheel drive pickup that Meredith and I had gotten unstuck the day before. Crazy. I said, get off the road, people. And there was a car behind it, so it was 3, right? But only the truck and the Jeep were tied together, and they were halfway up the hill. So I get out and put the tow strap on the front of my truck. Got the Jeep has a tow hook also. I got it to the front of the Jeep, and I told the lady in the Jeep, when I start pulling, when you feel me, just give it a little bit of gas, and she's in 4-wheel drive, keep your wheels just slowly spinning, keep your wheels straight, your steering wheel straight. Went to the truck behind him, I said, hey, just when we start pulling, give it a little gas, keep your wheels moving forward, keep your steering wheel straight. I will get you in the center of the road. I'll steer you, don't worry about it. So I get them up, and again, now it's getting dark, it is dark, and I put it in reverse, and I just, big old diesel, right? Big old diesel. and I pull both of them right over the hill. And I told her before, I said, as soon as the truck gets on top of the hill, I'm gonna stop, disconnect from you, and then I'm gonna go around you into this parking lot, and then you guys can just get on out after you disconnect. So I get them up to the top of the hill, and I park, and I get out, and I take the strap off, and then I'm backing up a little bit, and she drives forward. I was like, wait. I need to go around you so you guys can get out of here. I don't want to back down to the highway. So I get her to stop, and I get off in the ditch. Ditch wasn't too bad. And I get up in the parking lot, and they pull on up forward, and they stop down at the bottom of the hill. I'm like, why are you stopping? Well, that's our cousin down at the bottom of the hill in the car. So a neighbor of mine pulls up in a Bronco, a new Bronco 4x4, and I'm talking to him for a second. See, I'm gonna go. No, he hadn't pulled up yet. I'm sorry. I went down to the car, and I said, "Are you guys okay?" Yeah. And I looked at the car, and it was like a little Toyota Camry or something, right? And all plastic, and the all plastic this far off the ground. I'm like, why are they out? Why are they on the road? And I'm like, there's nothing for me to attach to. And my tow strap is not a really, really long one. If you got a really, really long tow strap, you can connect to the front chassis, and it will be at an angle, and a really acute angle, not a big obtuse angle, acute angle really far out, and you can do it without ripping their plastic and everything off. Mine's not like that. Mine's fairly short. Plus, this thing sits so high off the ground, the angle is too much. I said, ma'am, we can try to rock you back and forth, but there was nothing. They were going to have to back up. So then I walked to the top of the hill, and I told the people in the truck and the Jeep that I said, hey, I can't pull them. It'd damage their car. I can't do that. Liability issues, right? So then I see my neighbor in the Bronco, and he's like, oh yeah, there's no way I would tow these, because people will sue you. People will sue you. You'll help them, and they'll sue you when you damage their vehicle. You get them off in the ditch, or they twit, you rip their bumper off. I was like, well, yeah, I've been helping people all week, but I'm not going to attach to a car where I know I'm going to rip their plastic off and everything. So this car is at the bottom of the thing, and she's sitting there, and she's having a hard time going front and back. And I don't even know if she could make it backwards, because as slick as it was. But I had to get home, right? Power was out on the ridge. I had to get the propane switched over, and I had to get power to make sure that the camper's internal battery didn't go out and everything freeze up. And Grandma Carol, of course, had to get home and eat dinner with Grandma Carol. And I'm already telling her, hey, I'm late. And Meredith's already wondering where I'm at. She's like, you should have been home 10 minutes ago. And this was an hour, right? I said, yeah, baby. She called me, yeah, baby, I'm having a detour because my normal road to the ridge is blocked. So then I go down the county highway to take another road that will wind me around back to the ridge. And oh my goodness, I see another truck off, and it was a curve. I see another truck off in a ditch, and I look, and there was nobody in that. They'd abandoned it. And I go down the hill, and oh my gosh, it was just getting there. Every car going by. This road was still, a county highway. It was pretty busy. I turn off onto this county road. And it was so bad. You could see the only people that had been driven on this road were like side-by-sides and stuff, where they're doing donuts and stuff in it. It was that bad. And there was this huge hill. So I'm four-wheel drive high, I get up to the top of the hill, and it curves. And I'm like, oh, don't let me slide down, because it was pretty steep on either side. And I get around the curve, and I go to curve this way, and what do I see in front of me? Headlights. Again, it's dark, guys. It's dark, right? And so I park a good 50 yards back, because I didn't know what was going on. So I park 50 yards back, and I walk 50 yards up, and it is a little bitty Acura car, right? And there was a car behind it. And I said, and they were trying to dig out under the tires and everything. And I was like, sir, I can help you push. He's like, oh, we've tried that. I've had a couple guys, we've been pushing, but nothing came. I said, well, I'd love to help you push. But he said, I can't hook up to you, because, he's like, yeah, I understand. So my main route's blocked. My secondary route's blocked. Now I've got to back up the hill, pull into somebody's parking lot, driveway that's never been, been driven on, crunch, 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 try to turn around, get back up, and then go down that hill. Well, I get turned around and everything, and I go down the hill, and I'm like, woo, woo, puckering up, woo, puckering up, and I make it to the bottom of the hill, and I'm driving straight, and here's all these deer coming out. And these deer come out, and they stand in the middle of the road, and they're like, what are you doing on this road? You shouldn't be out right now. And they just stared at me. And I had my lights on bright and everything. And eventually I got them to cross the road, and I get back on the county highway, and I'm like, whew, now I've got to go all the way around back almost to the town that I came from when I first talked to Meredith saying I was almost home. And this is about an hour and a half later now, right? I already talked to Grandma Carol, said dinner time is coming past, just hold up, I'll be there eventually. So I go all the way around, get back all the way almost to the town. I turn on this other county road, and it actually wasn't quite as bad. I'd passed people, and it wasn't, and then I turned south to basically come from the north instead of coming from the south to my place. There's like 4 different ways you can get to the ridge, right? They all converge on one road, and that one road so far has been open. That's the road where I had to pull the guy in the pickup truck the first day with Meredith. So I'm going down, and it's windy and hilly and everything, and it's pitch black dark, and I'm slipping and sliding, and I eventually get on my road, and I pull in to the ridge driveway, and I can tell my truck's the only one that's come and gone, and it was worse pulling back in than pulling out when me and Meredith were the day before. It was so slick. So slick. But I called Grandma Carol, said, hey, I'm here on the ridge. I'll be there shortly. I got to get the ridge taken care of. So I get the generator going. I check the ice, and the ice is not coming off the solar and everything. I get the propane all situated. It's good. The ridge crib's got heat and power and everything. I get to Grandma Carol's, and she cooked me an air fryer steak. My mama can put a steak in the air fryer and it come out almost as good as a grill. I'm telling you, it was pretty good. We had mac and cheese, and she filled my belly up, and I made sure she was good. Brought her some bananas. Meredith had gone to a fast time. We went to Dollar General, and they didn't have hardly anything. Fast Times was all out of dairy products. I was going to try and get Grandma Carol some half and half, but Meredith got her some bananas. The bananas didn't look too good, but at least they were bananas. Grandma Carol wanted them, so thank you, Meredith, for getting those from Grandma Carol. And so I gave her bananas. We ate a great meal, and talked to my daughter. Right when I got back to the ridge crib, my daughter said her husband has a big Ram pickup truck in Dyersburg, and Dyersburg got a lot of snow. They didn't get as much sleet as we did, but they got a lot of snow. She said, yeah, he's been pulling people out, and one person accused him of damaging their vehicle. I'm like, that's exactly why. That's exactly right there. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a lawsuit or anything. I didn't get the details of that yet. I talked to Meredith about it. She said, all right, well, there's the Good Samaritan Act, and it protects you from, in certain situations, if you're doing due diligence and everything, you're not paid. The Good Samaritan Act will protect them, legally. But, they'll just sue the insurance and all that stuff. It's just terrible. So I don't know what's going on with them, but yeah, that's why I don't pull cars out where I'm going to rip their bumpers and everything off, their plastic or fascias and their, dams, under all that stuff, wind dams and all that stuff. So I made it home. It was late, hours past my dinner time. Goodness gracious. Got to the ridge crib, laid down, talked to Meredith. She said the animals are fine. She's actually putting the animals back in the barn today because everything is supposed to be getting 17 and 14 the next 2 nights, and it's just going to be a hard freeze again. Today it's supposed to be 32 for the high, and tomorrow I think it's going to be below freezing for the high. So this ain't going anywhere. Now, when that comes off my power shed, I hope I can get that on video, but it's probably, Grandma Carol last night sent me a video of when we were eating dinner. We were hearing, because Grandma Carol's log home's roof's like this. We were hearing stuff falling off the roof because yesterday it was above freezing and things were, melting a little bit. Well, when I got back to the ridge crib, she sent a video to me of She heard the earthquake, the earth shake. She said it sounded like an earthquake. And again, the stuff that's on the roof is like 3 to 4 inches of sleet frozen. It's solid. It's not coming off like snow, right? It doesn't, it's go boom, and it fell off her peak of her roof, and it was all on the ground. It went out like 20 feet. So luckily the dogs weren't out there. She kept the dogs in because of that danger, right? She's worried about the dogs getting killed by all this frozen ice, sleet coming off the roof. So they were fine. Dogs were in the house. And on a sad note, I'm going over, once I get work done here on the ridge today, I'm going back over to Meredith, for the weekend, and Sammy, her cat, she took to the vet, not eating, hasn't eaten in days, trying to give it water and food, and gave it, chicken, and gave it wet cat food. The other 2 cats, loving it, but she's sequestering it, keeping it, warm and by itself. So there may be I may be having to dispatch a pet this weekend. We're doing everything we can. The vet gave it antibiotics. We're putting the antibiotics in it, and we're hoping it makes improvement. But if cats don't eat for days, you know what happens. Well, maybe you don't, but it's terrible. Look it up. It's terrible. All right, guys. I'm freezing out here, and I got work to do on the ridge. Hopefully you, I entertained you a little bit with this crazy story. Yes, it was a crazy night trying to get home, helping all these people, and I'm sure I forgot some other people I towed. I use this thing a bunch this week, but you got to help your neighbors out. You got to check on them, make sure they're safe, make sure they have the necessities. If you see somebody in need, check on them. And help where you can, and let God do the rest, okay? Love every single one of you. If you did enjoy today's video, give it a big old thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. If you actually share these videos on social media, it actually helps me out, and it's 100% free. Hit that notification bell to be notified anytime I put a new video out. And if you got a hype on a mobile device, hit it. You can actually help me out that way too. I think you get 2 or 3 hypes a week, and I appreciate it if I could be one of them. So love every single one of you guys, and until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Keep rambling, and go Ridge Life. Woo! Oh, it's cold. It's windy today too. Woo.